Hello everyone, today let's delve into the GPD WIN5 modification kit. It primarily comes in two distinct versions and will comprehensively introduce each one, highlighting their unique functionalities, inherent advantages, and practical applications. To begin, we have the tablet kit. As you can readily observe, there are two separate models displayed right here. This thicker version over here features an integrated built-in battery with a capacity of 45 watt-hours. I'll be sharing the comprehensive specifications and parameters in our group chat, so you'll be able to review them there. This other model is designed for an external battery. For that, you can either utilize the original manufacturer's battery pack, or the more compact custom one I'll be producing soon. Both battery packs are perfectly compatible and can be readily utilized. Alright, let's just place it right here for a moment. We'll begin by examining the external battery pack variant. Specifically, the external battery pack configuration preserves the original 80 watt-hour battery's dedicated mounting slot. Directly beneath, you'll find a specific connection port. And up top, you'll find two securing clips. Looking closely inside these clips, you can observe a 3-section gridded area, which functions as a cooling vent. The factory version had a plastic cover over it, but we have opted for this more efficient mesh design instead, providing much better airflow and heat dissipation. It features a 3-hole design, yet its function remains precisely the same. The installation process is also identical to before. Just press the 2 buttons and the battery securely attaches. To take it off, simply press again to unlatch and pull down the battery. Furthermore, when using the original extension cable, you'll find an M2 interface on both sides that can be directly utilized. The cooling module is exactly like the original, with no modifications whatsoever. You can observe its grill is also positioned here. On the top of the device's main body, you'll notice this particular model is quite slender, measuring approximately 22 mm in thickness, excluding any protruding parts. This is where the DC power input is located, and here's the device's Type-C port. This mirrors the motherboard structure precisely, thus the relative placement of these two ports is identical. On this side, you'll find a USB-A and a 3.5 mm headphone jack, features that have been retained. Additionally, there's a grill along the bottom, serving to aid in auxiliary cooling. This isn't the primary heatsink exhaust vent, so indeed there's a distinct row along the underside. It's different from this other version, which we'll discuss later on. The top features the heatsink's air vent, so that's all good. And then on the side you'll find the slide rail for the Joy-Con, which is actually capable of charging as well. If I just grab a set of controllers and attach them onto this, then your main unit will be able to charge the controller. The main console can charge this controller, so you won't need to worry about it running out of power or encountering other issues. Furthermore, you can pair it with many different controllers. This is a significant advantage of using Joy-Cons. You have the freedom to customize. You can pick any controller you fancy, and there's a vast array of styles. As you can observe, there are numerous styles and brands. With various tactile sensations and diverse joysticks, you're free to choose as you wish. This flexibility is a significant benefit of the detachable design. There's no need to fret if a controller malfunctions. Simply acquire a replacement and it will pair instantly. Furthermore, the controller remains functional whether it's connected or detached, as each individual controller is equipped with its own internal battery. And this controller will not. That gets hot. Alright, let's set this controller to the side. When detached, these controllers can also be assembled into a single larger controller, which proves quite handy. So that explains how to attach the controllers. Now let's shift our attention to the device's base. At the bottom you'll find 2 antenna strips, along with an additional auxiliary grill. This specific grill offers both weight reduction and additional cooling functionality. For instance, once the battery is clipped into place, you'll discover a fully open grill on the underside. The density of this grill perfectly matches that of the top air vent, covering an identical surface area, and it's thoughtfully equipped with a dust filter. Given its ample size and extensive coverage, you can certainly install a dust filter, thus guaranteeing a sufficiently large air intake. Therefore, even when the battery is clipped into place, and despite the very minimal gap right here, the additional cooling from underneath can still assure a consistently stable and highly effective cooling system. And then finally we have the power button. It's now located at the bottom. This power button with an LED shows if the computer is turned on. Let's give it a press. Once powered on, a blue light illuminates. Oh, and by the way, the light color is customizable. There are several options available, such as blue, white, and I believe yellow and green as well. You have the flexibility to choose your preferred color. Alright, the machine is now powered on. Okay, it's currently initiating its startup sequence. It's now active. Let's observe the sides. Apart from the Joy-Con slide rail, you'll notice two speaker grills. These grills are responsible for audio projection. In fact, when we attach the controller, these grills aren't covered. After it's installed, the grill isn't entirely covered. There's a slight gap around the edges. This design choice means it won't significantly impact the audio output. Now, this particular model is the external battery version. When you opt not to use the battery, this version offers a considerable advantage in terms of weight. Let's take a moment to examine its weight, as many of you are likely quite interested in this aspect, given that it utilizes. It boasts an entirely metal casing, as the entire device body is constructed from aluminum alloy and then treated with an anodized coloring process. This choice of materials and finish significantly boosts its reliability and overall durability. Next, we will shut down the device, remove its battery, and then proceed to measure the weight of the main unit by itself. I am now getting the electronic scale to do this. Alright, let's check the weight of the main unit. The console itself weighs 554 grams. This specific weight is for the mass-produced version, which incorporates a copper module. However, if an aluminum module were used instead, the weight would be approximately 520 grams. So that figure represents the weight of the main console alone. Now let's proceed to determine its total weight when paired with controllers. We'll start by attaching this smaller controller. This combination results in a total weight of 710 grams for the device with the small controller attached. Next, we will proceed to examine the overall weight when we pair it with the larger controller here. The large controller weighs 725 grams. Of course, smaller, lighter controllers exist. It's all about personal preference. Lighter controllers aren't necessarily better. The better. I've personally played with a plethora of various Joy-Con controllers, especially the very diminutive original ones, and honestly, their tactile sensation is utterly subpar. Conversely, larger controllers such as this, boasting an ergonomic curve, genuinely offer a significantly superior feel. This is primarily because my hands are notably larger, and the grip of this particular controller is it feels incredibly smooth and quite comfortable. Also, the trigger functions on a microswitch mechanism. Indeed, many similar devices utilize microswitches in combination with conductive rubber for their controls. Alright, so this specific section covers This is the external battery pack model. Regarding its performance, it really doesn't differ significantly from the original manufacturer's product. Please feel free to search online and explore reviews of the WIN5 for more information on that. Alright, let's set this particular model aside for a moment. Next, we will turn our attention to the built-in battery version. This version is a bit different. Primarily, we notice its increased thickness. Due to this added thickness, a substantial 3-grid array has been incorporated underneath. This gridded section at the bottom is strategically separated from the battery, which is housed internally. Furthermore, a multi-hole vacuum turtle G2 insulation material is employed, offering robust thermal separation for both the motherboard and the battery. After testing, the insulation effect proved to be remarkably effective. Let's examine its internal construction. It incorporates multi-hole vacuum turtle Gen 2 battery insulation, and the easy pull battery adhesive facilitates simple replacement. The motherboard is equipped with a multi-hole vacuum turtle Gen 2 full insulation, dual fan, supercooling system, enabling a powerful output of 85 watts. Now let's turn our attention to the white strip found on both the left and right sides. This is a light pipe, a permanent illuminating tube, meaning it glows continuously without needing any external charging or activation. It emits a subtle light in the evening, ensuring its visibility even in dim conditions. We can now observe its appearance during nighttime hours. You'll be able to see it emitting a soft blue glow at night, allowing it to be visible even in darkness. There are various color options available, and the luminescence level will differ based on the specific hue chosen. As for the top, the air vent remains consistent with the external battery model. Now turning our attention to the front, the screen for starters has a protective film that I've applied to it. So it doesn't look glossy. If you peel off the protector, it'll look just like the original. Now the front panel has been adjusted a bit. You can see an MSI logo here. Actually, MSI, ROG, and GPD all use the same LCD module in their handhelds, so their screens are interchangeable because MSI. Since these screens are mass-produced and widely available, we can effectively install them into this unit to completely fill the bezel. The original screen, in fact, is designed very similarly. This specific version will also be using this particular display. This design choice effectively mitigates potential damage that could occur if the original display were to be disassembled. Therefore, to streamline the process, we simply acquire a brand new screen and seamlessly integrate it, making the whole operation significantly more straightforward. The optical performance and all other aspects remain identical. Let's now proceed to, let's take a look at the side. On its side, you'll find the auxiliary speaker port. The air vent is now located at the bottom, so no need to concern yourself with it, as there's another on the rear. This side features a sliding rail, and the other side does too. As a result, it also provides charging capabilities. Let's inspect the base. The bottom likewise includes 2 antenna strips, along with an auxiliary air intake port. Certainly, while this model lacks the rear-mounted battery, we've still incorporated the auxiliary air intake. The primary purpose of this was to achieve weight reduction for the device. The power button, as you can see, remains exactly the same. Overall, you'll notice we've included an additional small kickstand right here. This kickstand allows you to prop the device up easily. You simply place it diagonally on your desktop, and then you can operate it effortlessly with this foldable keyboard. We can then remove this, and just like that, it transforms into a portable workstation setup, ready for use anytime, anywhere you wish, perfectly adapting to your specific needs and environment. And there's also a mouse right here. We can pair this compact mouse with a full-size keyboard such as this one. In fact, I previously created a similar item, a small 7-inch keyboard that was designed to perfectly integrate with this device, matching its dimensions precisely. It was a keyboard from a Pocket 2, specifically the GPD Pocket 2. For that particular keyboard, I wanted to create a connection, much like a Surface keyboard. However, I discovered this approach was quite costly, and the tactile feel didn't match that of pre-made keyboards. Consequently, I abandoned this plan due to its excessive expense. Despite its appropriate size and ideal fit, the price was considerably high, particularly when factoring in the key layout. The tactile feel and all other aspects simply don't compare to a $20 or $30 foldable keyboard. That's a fact, so I didn't continue developing this solution. If you like using them, I genuinely think these backlit foldable keyboards are excellent. They're very portable in your bag. Just add a portable screen, and you instantly have a workstation. Due to its standard sizing, typing on it is quite comfortable. It's extremely comfortable whether you're diligently working or simply typing a lot. It provides immense convenience. So this device can be easily propped up. This compact kickstand, a versatile accessory, is readily available online. You'll find numerous styles to complement your device's various colors, and some even feature appealing patterns. This particular one offers you can pick out yourself. Since it's held by adhesive, you can simply heat it to remove it. This area features a recessed design, so if the stand gets damaged or a leg breaks, you can easily purchase a replacement and swap it out. They are quite affordable and very practical to use. Alright, let's power it on and have a look. Once it's booted after pressing the power button, we'll examine what's distinct about it. Let's examine the air intake at the bottom. On the top, you'll observe 2 grills that emit light. This particular light illuminates the vent grill. This feature is an optional addition for both versions and offers customization with several color choices. I'll publish the specific details in the specifications later, allowing everyone to decide whether or not to include it. This triple grill light, this specific 3-grid light, truly produces a rather appealing effect, especially during the nighttime hours or in dim environments. It genuinely looks quite attractive. Alright then, we've successfully activated this particular feature. Lastly, let's proceed to examine its overall weight. This model is indeed the variant equipped with a 45-watt internal battery. So, let's now determine precisely what its weight is. The main unit itself weighs 740 grams. Then, if we also include the controller, specifically this big controller that I frequently use, the total comes to 917 grams. This is actually quite comparable to the weight. As the original machine combined with the weight of an 8-inch battery. However, since this device features a metal casing and numerous elaborate additions, its total weight has likely increased. Therefore, the final weight is expected to be approximately 910 grams. Please note that there might be minor deviations across individual units, so this figure should be considered as an estimate rather than a precise measurement. Regarding the total weight of the device, there exists an alternative method that significantly reduces the machine's overall mass. Let's delve into these additional solutions. Initially, there's a variant of the rear cover available. This specific iteration of the back cover is considerably more streamlined, purposefully designed without the integrated small kickstand. Consequently, if you find that you rarely, if ever, utilize such a stand, you might conclude that you have no requirement for one. This thing. Then we can easily install a magnetic ring. With this convenient feature, it doubles as a versatile stand, and when it's not needed, you can effortlessly detach it in a snap. So that's one configuration. Alternatively, you have the option to magnetically attach various other accessories here, such as cooling fans and other devices. They can all be securely held to this designated spot, which features a clearly marked magnetic attraction ring. Alright. Thus, you have the option to attach this specific back cover. This is a back cover accessory that broadens its functionality. You may opt for either this particular design or that alternative one. Both are quite straightforward to install and remove, requiring only 4 screws. So that represents one variant. Furthermore, there's another variant available, which features a complete carbon fiber construction. This particular version has not yet received the 3 grid openings. The carbon fiber variant of this back cover is considerably lighter. Let's examine its weight. This specific one measures at 27 grams. For mass production, it will be made a bit thicker, resulting in a weight of approximately 30 grams. Now let us determine the exact weight of this back cover. This rear cover weighs 59 grams, just the cover alone. Consequently, this back cover is somewhat heavy. However, this particular back cover has the potential to decrease the weight by approximately 30 grams. This reduction allows the overall weight of our main unit to drop to, under 700 grams. Therefore, one can utilize a carbon fiber back cover to implement various pertinent adjustments. Alright then, this represents an overall weight adjustment. Furthermore, with the external battery version, it's not feasible to use this carbon fiber back cover. This is because the external variant's back cover is actually constructed from a 10mm thick aluminum plate. It's simply not practical to produce such an item using carbon fiber material of that thickness, you understand. Consequently, this particular weight reduction is exclusively attainable with the internal battery iteration of the device. Following that, we reattach the controller. Due to the substantial size of this controller, I find its ergonomic grip to be quite satisfactory actually. It gives a pleasant tactile sensation when you grip this, largely due to its considerable thickness and solid feel. So, once we press the button on this particular handle, the machine activates, and with R1 and WASD it establishes an automatic connection. This is indeed another rather convenient aspect of its operation. Now this. Regarding the software functionality connection, I've actually created a tutorial on how to establish that connection, so feel free to check it out. Once you plug it in for charging, the charging icon conveniently displays the current battery level. What's more, you can even use the controller itself as a mouse, which proves to be incredibly practical. You'll notice that every single button is fully customizable, allowing you to quickly access a variety of functions. On-screen keyboard. Actually, I don't use this on-screen keyboard very often, as I usually prefer to use the touchscreen. A simple tap on the screen will cause this on-screen keyboard to pop up, so an on-screen keyboard is available regardless. Although it does add to the overall weight, its main advantage is the ability to easily remove it. This means you're not limited to using it exclusively at a desk or in a specific location. Where you absolutely have to have the controller attached for use, however, I can still use it without the controller attached. That's actually one of the main advantages of having an independent controller. I can simply use a stand. The main unit itself, without the controller, is not particularly heavy. Alternatively, I can opt to pair it with an Xbox controller, which offers a much better tactile grip for an enhanced gaming experience. You're not absolutely obligated to use the controller that comes with the machine, thus presenting you with a multitude of options. Alright, so that concluded the general introduction to the internal battery version. Very well, regarding these two versions, if you'd like to discuss which one you prefer, please feel free to join our group and we can collectively determine which version might be a better fit for your needs. And so that brings us to the close of today's video. Alright, thank you all for tuning in.